per game. Her season high came in a win over Henry Clay when she scored 24 points. Rhodes is also the long-range specialist for Frederick Douglass as she's hitting 39% from beyond the arc. 6'2" sophomore Ayana Sarah Darington is the inside strength for Frederick Douglass as she's averaging a double-double, 14 points and 11 boards. Altogether, she already has 5 double-doubles this year. She's had a couple of huge games. She had 29 points and 12 rebounds in a loss to Bardstown. She also had 16 points and 22. That's Oscar Schwebway numbers. 22 rebounds and 16 points in a win over Lincoln County. She's also the team's best shooter, making 55% of her shots from the floor. And, of course, at 6'2", is able to go up and over many of her defenders. Also, one of the better players is Darington. As we mentioned, she'll give Harrison County some problems as with that height. As a team, the Lady Broncos are considered to be one of the top 5 teams in the 11th region, but they just really don't shoot very well. As a team, they're hitting only 39% of their field goal attempts. Now, that is mitigated by them being an effective rebounding team as a squad averaging 33 boards per game. Meanwhile, the Phillies had a great win over Mason County on Saturday night, a 34-31 victory here on the Hilltop in the Class 2A sectional final. All 5 starters contributed positively to that big win. The defense, though, that's what won that game for Harrison County. It was so good that it took Mason County completely out of their game plan. The Lady Royals had a very hard time making baskets as they are normally accustomed to being able to race up and down the floor against their opponents, but Harrison County's defense would not let that happen. Harrison's defense helped the offense control the tempo and kept Mason County from making the game a track meet. Offensively, Harrison County struggled from the field in that game, but broke that always tenacious Mason County press. They did it so often early in the game that eventually Mason County stopped trying it anymore. Harrison County quietly is on a little bit of a roll, having won 5 of their last 7 after starting the season 1-5. Phillies need to stay positive and confident and fight like they did against Mason County every single game, including tonight's contest. As far as close games are concerned, neither team has played a whole lot of games decided by 10 points or less. Harrison County 3-1 and Frederick Douglass 3-2 in close games, so the vast majority of their ball games have been blowouts either one way or another. Well, Harrison County still back in the locker room. Frederick Douglass getting some final warm-ups in, so we'll take a break now and come back and give you the starting lineups of tonight's game between Harrison County and Frederick Douglass. You're listening to Philly Basketball on WCYN Sports. Alrighty, back here at the Hilltop. The Phillies and the Lady Broncos about to take each other on. Let's take a look at the starters. First for Frederick Douglass, 9-5 on the year, coached by Daryl Moberly. At a guard, a 5'3" freshman, number 3, Kate Baker. Baker averaging 6.2 points a game. At the other guard is Allison Wallace, probably their best player. She wears the number 13 of a 5'9" senior, averaging 13.1 points a game. At one of the forwards is the Frederick Douglass leading scorer, Ayana Sarah Darington. Darington, a 6'2" sophomore, and that's a legit 6'2". She wears the number 21 and is averaging 14.2 points a game. At the other forward, Nia Rhodes, the transfer from Woodford County. She wears the number 34. She's a 5'7" freshman, averaging 15.5 points a contest. And at the other forward, a 5'9" senior who wears the number 23, Brescia Love. Love averaging 2.5 points a game. So once again for the Lady Broncos, it'll be Baker, Wallace, Darington, Rhodes, and Love. On the year, the Lady Broncos averaging 56.3 points per game on offense. On defense, they're giving up 53.5 points per game. Now for the Harrison County Phillies, now 6-7 on the year. At a guard, a 5'2" 8th grader, number 12, Keely Custard. Custard averaging 5.8 points a game. At another guard is Harrison County's leading scorer, Gab Hadrick. Hadrick wears the number 15. She's a 5'3" senior and is averaging 17.2 points a game, which is third best in the 10th region. At the other guard, Harrison County's point guard, Bayley Hudgens. Bailey has played terrific over the last couple of 3 weeks. She's a 5'5" freshman, wears the number 23, and is averaging 8 points a game. At a forward, Kara Hines. Hines wears the number 4. She's a 5'9" senior, now averaging 9.2 points a game. And at the other forward, a 5'9" junior that wears the number 22, Caroline Van Hook. Van Hook averaging 5.8. So once again for the Phillies, it'll be Custard, Hadrick, Hudgens, Hines, and Van Hook. The Phillies now are averaging 47.2 points per game on offense. On defense, giving up 50.7 points per contest. On paper, Frederick Douglass about a 3-point favorite in this game, so it should be very, very close. Well, while the teams continue to warm up, we'll take this opportunity to take it back to the station to Bruce Templeton from Unity Christian Church with tonight's pregame prayer. Alrighty, Harrison County and Frederick Douglass about to meet for only the second time. The only other time the two teams played each other was last year up in Lexington, a game that was actually the first game of the season for the Phillies as the pandemic made everything pushed forward on January the 4th. It was a close one, but Frederick Douglass came out on top, 45-42. Well, of course, the Phillies anticipating a trip down to Owensboro this coming weekend as they'll participate in the Class 2A state tournament where they'll take on the Lady Vikings of Rowan County. That game is set to begin at 7:30 our time. If you're looking on the computer and it says 6:30, remember, Owensboro is in a different time zone than we are. So 7:30 our time. That's when the Phillies will play Rowan County in the Class 2A state tournament quarterfinals come Friday. Now, because of that game, a couple of changes in your schedule. Harrison County will not be playing at Powell County on Wednesday. And they will not be playing against Nicholas County on Saturday. I'm not sure yet if we'll make up the Powell County game or not, but obviously with Nicholas County being a district game, we have to make that one up. And that will be made up on February the 9th. So readjust your calendar for the game over at Nicholas County in Carlisle. We'll play them on February 9th, the girls will, over in Carlisle. Meanwhile, the Thoroughbreds, after losing to Mason County 68-61 on Saturday, will be back in action tomorrow night here on the Hilltop as they'll take on the Eagles of Scott High School. Then on Friday, they'll host Campbell County third straight home game for the Thoroughbreds. Hopefully we can pick up wins over those two 37th district rivals. The wrestling team on Wednesday will participate in the county line duels. Then on Saturday, it'll be a split for the boys and the girls. The boys will be playing here on the hilltop in the Rimble on the hilltop, while the girls will take off down to Taylor County. And the archery team will also be in action on Saturday as they will participate in the Bourbon County Classic. So the winter sports in full gear. In fact, the bowling team here in a 3 weeks will be going into their postseason tournament. Things move very quickly once you get past the first of the year. Well, we're about to have the national anthem, so we'll go ahead and take a listen to that, after which we'll take a break and then come back with a tip-off of tonight's game between Harrison County and Frederick Douglass. But right now, let's bring you our Star Spangled Banner.
Fans from Harrison County are asked to sit in the selection of bleachers across from the benches. Fans from Douglas are asked to sit in the section of bleachers behind the benches. Caution tape is marking the area that fans are asked to sit behind. As you saw on the door as you entered, it is recommended that masks be worn at all times indoor, especially at indoor events, to help keep our student athletes on the floor for the entire season. Let's remember that this is all about our student athletes. Thank you in advance for your help. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time we ask that you please stand and remove your hats for the playing of the national anthem. Your Star Spangled Banner will be played tonight by the Harrison County Pep Band under the direction of Mr. Sean Pyatt.
All righty, here at the Hilltop, Harrison County and Frederick Douglass, both starting fives, have been introduced to the crowd here, which is about an average-sized crowd. There's a smattering of people come down from Lexington to watch their Lady Broncos play tonight as well. Another notable thing to let you know about, and I'm not even sure if she knows about this or not, but if Harrison County wins tonight, that will give Coach Marshall her 138th win, which will move her into sole possession of second place in the all-time career wins list as a coach at Harrison County, passing Larry Allison. Let's hope that happens. Kara Hines jumping center for Harrison across the midcourt stripe by Yana Sarah Darington as we're underway from here on the Hilltop. The tap controlled by the Phillies. Frederick with the ball on the right side up top to Hudgens. Bayley gets it to Custard on the left wing. Now the two bobble the ball between each other, but finally Custer picks it up. Moves it to the right side in front of the Lady Bronco bench. Up top to Custer, to the left side to Hudgens. Skip pass to the near side to Frederick. Knocked away, and the loose ball picked up by Frederick Douglas. But then the ball stolen back away by Frederick. She'll wait on the rest of her team to get back into position. Passes to Hudgens on the baseline to Van Hook. Van Hook up top to Custard in between the circles. Keeley to the right side to Frederick. She'll fire a three, and it's going to be off the rim, no good. Long rebound comes to Allison Wallace of the Lady Broncos. In the front court quickly, the ball put down low to the big girl, Ayanna Sarah Darington. And Sarah Darington puts the ball in the basket to give her team the early 2-0 lead. Into the front court with the basketball. With a minute gone in the first quarter will come Custard. She'll get it to the right side to Frederick. Skip pass to the far side to Hudgens, long range. Now in the corner finds Van Hook. Caroline up top to Custard, to the right side to Frederick. Once again back to Keeley at the top of the key. Custard moves inside the paint. Now kicks it back on the wing to Hudgens. Her three-point try is a little bit short, and Wallace comes down with another rebound. She'll race it into the front court. On the right side in front of the stable. She'll get it back between the circles to Baker, who will reset the offense. Baker angles over to the left side in front of Harrison County's bench. Now reverses to the top of the key, moves to the right side to the elbow extended, and gets it into the hands of Wallace. Wallace spins in the paint, puts up a 10-footer. It's off to the left, no good. And Custard comes down with the rebound for the Phillies. Harrison rushing in the front court. Custard to the left side to Hudgens. On the baseline finds Van Hook. She'll kick it back up top to Custard, to the right side to Frederick. Back to Custard, now back to Hudgens for a long three, try short again. And the rebound this time will come into the hands of Nia Rhodes. So Harrison County has missed all three shots, all three from beyond the perimeter, which is probably the smart thing to do with as tall as these girls are from Lexington. Here's a long three from the top of the key, buried by Rhodes, as she gives her team a 5-0 lead here early. In the front court with the basketball come the Phillies, taking their time offensively, out there. Frederick at the top of the key, flips it over to Custard. Now on the far sideline to Hudgens. Back up top to Custard for the open three try, off to the right. Rebound pulled down by Van Hook. Her putback is going to be blocked by Darington. And into the front court with the basketball come the Phillies. Or make that the Broncos. Here's a pass down low to Darington. Her shot's no good, but she's fouled. Foul's going to be called on Hines, and that'll be Karras first. And Darington a little slow getting up. But now she unfolds that 6'2 frame and will go to the foul line for the first time. On the year, Darington is a 58% free throw shooter. Trying to extend her team's current 5-0 advantage with 5:12 on the clock here in the first. First free throw is off the front of the rim, no good. She will have another, however, just a freshman. We said transferring over from Woodford County during the offseason. Second free throw is on the way, and this one is also going to carry them off, and the rebound's going to be knocked out of bounds by the Phillies. So the ladies from Frederick Douglass will maintain possession from her own baseline. Baker looking to get the ball in bounds. Wrap around pass to Rhodes, knocked away from behind, and loose ball is going to be tapped out of bounds by the Lady Broncos, so Harrison County will get the ball back on the turnover. Couple of turnovers here early for the Lady Broncos. Custard will bring the ball into the front court this time as she crosses the midcourt stripe inside the center circle. Pass to the right side to Frederick, in the corner to Van Hook, up top now to Custard. Left side, Hudgens has it now. Bayley back up top in between the circles to Custard. Keeley will back up near the center circle to reset the offense. Pass to the right side in front of the Bronco bench to Frederick. Gets it to Van Hook, back up top to Custard once again. In the paint, Caroline gets a pass from Keeley and puts it in the basket. So good basket that time by Caroline as Harrison County gets back to within 3 at 5-2. 4.5 left to go in a quickly moving first quarter. In the front court, Baker with the basketball. Pass to the left wing to Rhodes. Rhodes thought about penetrating, but Harrison County's zone keeps that from happening. Matchup zone for Harrison County here tonight. Inside the center circle is Baker. Pitches it over to the far sideline to Rhodes. Back up top to Darington. Darington will get it to Love, who touches the ball for the first time, I believe. Gets the ball to Rhodes in the paint. A 15-footer is off to the left, no good. Rebound's going to be chased down by Frederick. And here come the Phillies. In the front court, Hines, 3-on-2 break, goes to the block. Baseline pass is stolen away by the Broncos. And they will run up the other end of the floor. Baker down low to Darington. Her shot's no good. Rebound being fought for and finally dug out there by Frederick. So we'll head the other direction. In the front court, Hudgens has it now. Nearly taken away by Baker, but the loose ball is going to be picked up by Frederick. She'll get it to Custard. Right side three. Rims out. Rebounds chased down by Van Hook. Caroline gets it back up top to Frederick. Back to the left side to Hudgens on the baseline to Hines. 15-footer. Bounces off the rim. No good. Darington comes down with the rebound for the Lady Broncos. Score remains 5-2. 3:16 left to go in the first quarter. Broncos lead. In between the circles, Baker has the basketball. So back up near the center circle before reversing back over to the right side once again. Gets it in between the circles now to Rose. Now a whistle away from the basketball. And we're going to have a foul called away from the ball on Darington. That'll be the first foul whistled in the game against Frederick Douglass. So with exactly 3 minutes left in the first quarter, Harrison County will have the ball trailing 5-2. Custard with the basketball across the timeline in the middle of the floor. Passes it off to Frederick in between the circles. Gab over to the left side to Hudgens. Skip pass to the near side to Custard. In the corner finds Frederick. Frederick backs up for a three. Air ball. Long rebound is going to be picked up by Brescia Love. And here come the Lady Broncos. The Phillies now 0 for 6 from beyond the arc. Going to the basket and missing the shot, but being fouled is going to be Darington. The foul is going to be called on Van Hook, and that'll be Caroline's first. Darington back to the line. Where she's 0 for 2. First free throw by the sophomore is off. No good. First sub of the game coming in for Frederick Douglass, number 25, Bradley Price. Price, who was a starter last year, 5'1" senior, averaging a couple of points a game this season. As Darington will attempt her second free try. It's on the way, and this one is good, which nudges her team's lead back to 4 at 6-2. 2.5 left in the first quarter. With the basketball, Van Hook up top to Custard. Back to Van Hook in front of the Bronco bench. She'll get it to Custard. Now a pass to Hudgens. Hudgens in the paint to Frederick. Frederick tries a pass. It's going to be knocked away by the new girl, Price. And as we come up the floor, we're going to have a foul called on Frederick. That'll be Gab's first. Treat yourself to some Snappy. Salads, chicken wings, sandwiches, and, of course, Beast Pizza. Call 235-7627 right now. That's 235-SNAP. Thank you, Ryan. With the basketball, Price in between the circles. Pass to the left side in front of the Harrison County bench. She'll get it to Rhodes. Rhodes goes between the circles. Now lobs it in the corner. A three try by Baker is off to the left. No good. And on the rebound, we're going to have a foul called on the Broncos. So give the ball back to Harrison County. Fouls on Wallace. That'll be Allison Wallace's first personal foul. So up the floor with the ball come the Phillies, trailing 6-2. Under 2 to go in the first quarter. Frederick down on the block to Hines, forces up a shot, no good. Gets her own rebound, put back is no good, but she's fouled. So Kara will go to the line for 2. That foul's on Rhodes. That'll be Nia Rhodes' first. Hines on the year, a 78% free throw shooter. She's been very consistent all year long. First free throw by the senior, looking for her first point of the night, is going to be good. Coming in the game for the first time for Frederick Douglass, Kennedy Brooks. Kennedy Brooks, a 5'6" senior, averaging 2.7 points a game. Second free throw with 1:44 left in the first coming up for Hines. It's on the way, and this one is no good. And it's going to go out of bounds off of the Lady Broncos, so Harrison County will maintain possession. From her own baseline, this side of the basket, Van Hook to trigger the inbounds pass. Caroline lobs it up top, knocked away, but Frederick chases down the loose ball before it gets to midcourt. Now pass to the left side to Custard. Quickly fires a three, bounces off the front of the rim, no good. And Price comes down with the rebound. Up the floor come the Lady Broncos. Pass inside intended for Brooks will be knocked out of bounds by Brooks. So Harrison will get the ball back. 90 seconds left to go in the first quarter. Harrison County Farm Bureau knows that if you want something protected, you keep it covered. Call 234-4514, and Dustin or Amy will get you covered. Hudgens in the front court, gets it up top to Custard. Keeley backs up, now pitches it to the left side to Hadrick. Ball fake moves inside the arc. A runner from 10 is no good, and down with the rebound will be Wallace, as Harrison just cannot find the bucket here in the first quarter. Into the front court with the basketball will come Wallace. In the corner finds Rhodes for a three. Good. Second tray of the night for Nia Rhodes. Gives her team its largest lead at 9-3 with just over a minute left in the first quarter. Custard will bring the ball up the floor. Near side of the midcourt circle. She'll cross the line against the 2-3 Bronco zone. Hudgens to the elbow to Hines, and Hines is going to be fouled from behind by Baker. It'll be Baker's first, the team's fourth of this first quarter. 50 seconds left to go in our initial period. From her own baseline, Van Hook once again will trigger the inbounds pass. Right now, the Broncos' size is giving us problems. Hadrick with the basketball, races into the paint, dumps it down to the block to Hines. Hines fouled hard, but no call. Loses control of the basketball, but Hadrick gets it now, and as she moves inside the arc, shuffled the feet. So give the ball back to Frederick Douglass. 4 turnovers now in the game for Harrison County. They are 1 for 12 from the floor as well. Meanwhile, the only 2 buckets for Frederick Douglass, a couple of trays by Rhodes. They've also picked up a couple of free throws as well. With the basketball on the right side, Wallace gets it up top to Rhodes. Rhodes drives to the elbow, now kicks it back between the circles once again to Wallace as the clock winds down to 25 seconds. Inside the center circle, Baker. Baker being tracked by Hudgens. Now moves to the right side, crosses over her dribble to go between the circles. Now makes her move inside the arc in the paint. A runner from 15 is a little too hard off the glass, no good. Rebound goes out of bounds, last touched by Frederick Douglass. So Harrison will have the ball with 7 seconds left. They'll roll the inbounds pass. Custard will not pick it up until it gets past midcourt. Gets it on the right wing to Hudgens. Bailey goes into the paint. A runner is no good. Rebound pulled down by Price. And that is the way that the first quarter will end with your score. Frederick Douglass 9 and Harrison County 3. You're listening to Philly Basketball on WC. Alrighty, back here on the hilltop. A low-scoring affair through the first 8 minutes of play with Frederick Douglass leading 9-3. Harrison County just 1 of 13 of their shots. Meanwhile, Frederick Douglass not shooting all that great either, allowing Harrison County to stay fairly close. They hit 2 of their 7 tries from the floor. Frederick Douglass with the 9-3 lead will have the ball to begin the second quarter. In between the circles is Brooks. Gets to the left side to Rhodes, long range. Rhodes thought about passing the ball off to Price, but Price is covered up defensively by Hadrick. She'll get it back inside the center circle now to Wallace. Wallace gets the ball to Baker, who will reset the offense from inside the center circle as she looks over to Coach Moberly for the call. Continues to drift to the right side. Now crosses over her dribble. Kicks it on the wing to Rhodes for another 3. Try good. That's 3 trays here in the first half for Nia Rhodes as the Lady Broncos have gone up 12-3. We need to get somebody on Rhodes. With the basketball on the baseline, Van Hook to the wing to Hadrick. Skip pass to the near side to Hudgens, who falls down and loses control of the basketball. Broncos on the run, going to the basket. Rhodes, her shot's no good. Rebound pulled down by Keeley Custard of the Phillies. Into the front court we come. Harrison with just one field goal so far, trailing by 9. Custard from the top of the key for 3, rattles out. That ball went a third of the way down, but recovering the loose ball will be Van Hook. She'll get it back up top to Hudgens. To Hadrick. Hadrick fires a three-pointer. Good! Gab's first points of the night brings her team back to within 6 at 12-6. 6.5 left to go in the first half. Into the front court comes Price with the ball. Price being hounded by Hadrick. Now moves inside the paint, kicks it back up top and into the hands of Wallace. Wallace tried a touch pass to the far side to Baker, but Baker never moved. It goes harmlessly out of bounds. So give the ball back to the Phillies as Ayanna Sarah Darington checks back in the game. Cynthiana Hardee's has made from scratch breakfast options and the best burgers in town. Hardee's is a proud supporter of Breads and Phillies basketball. Custard will bring the ball into the front court once again. Pass to the left side to Hudgens, long range. Bayley in the paint finds Hines, kicks it up top to Custard for 3, rims out again. That ball went half the way down. And once again, it's Van Hook who gets the offensive rebound. So get the ball to Hadrick, to Custard, to the foul line to Hines. Turnaround jumper, no good. Clangs off the rim, and Wallace this time will have the rebound. In the front court come the Broncos. A pass intended inside for Darington, knocked to the bounds on a nice play by Hines. And now time called as Rhodes ties her shoe. If you've been thinking about a farm or machinery loan, call Michael Furnish with Farm Credit Mid-America at 859-254-2741 and learn how he can help you. Inbounding the ball from in front of the stable will be Baker. Gets it into the hands of Wallace. Wallace in the paint to Darington. Darington, a half hook shot off the glass is good. 5 points for Darington as the lead for the Lady Broncos grows to 14-6. Here's a long 3 by Hedrick. Good! Second tray of the night for Gab. Gets her team back to within 5 at 14-9. 5.5 left to go in the first half. With the basketball, Price up top. Trying to get away from Hadrick. Now the ball knocked into the backcourt, but Price goes and picks it up and brings it back into the front court and gets it to the near hash mark to Wallace. Wallace to Baker on the other side of the midcourt circle. Trying to get away from Hudgens. Crosses over her dribble. Now moves to the top of the key. Kicks it on the left side to Wallace. Wallace at the foul line will have to back it back out again. Great defense by the Phillies. Now a lob inside to Darington. Ball knocked away by Hadrick. And they're going to say went off of Hadrick out of bounds, but still a very good defensive play. From her own baseline, Baker will trigger the inbounds pass. 3 minutes into this second quarter. Harrison trailing 14-9. Wallace goes to the block, forces up a 10-footer, rolls off the rim, no good. And Hadrick is there for the rebound. Up the floor comes Gab. She'll get it to Hudgens in between the circles. Pass to the left side to Van Hook. Turn down the open 3. Gets it back up top to Hudgens. No-look pass to the right side to Hadrick. In the corner finds Custard. Custard drives. A runner is a little too long. And Darington grabs the rebound and races the other way. Gets the ball to Rhodes, who puts it up and in. 11 first half points for Nia Rhodes as she has come to play tonight and puts her team up 16-9. 4.5 left to go in the first half. Pass to the left side to Hudgens. Back up top to Custard. Custard to the right side to Hadrick, long range. Keeley has it now at the top of the key. Moves to the left elbow, extended, and tries a pass. It's going to be knocked out of bounds by Baker. Couple of subs coming in for the Broncos. Brescia Love checks back in. She started. We're also going to have a timeout. Also coming in the game was Reagan Gregonis. Gregonis, a 5'5", 8th grader, averaging 2.8. So 4:14 left to go in the first half. Broncos lead 16-9. You're listening to Philly Basketball on WCYN Sports. Alrighty, back here on the hilltop, midway through the second quarter. Harrison County with the ball out of the timeout, trailing by 7. Hadrick to Hudgens in between the circles as Bailey will hand it back to Gabb. Pass to the right side to Custard, long range. Now back to Hadrick, to the left side to Hudgens. Fires an open three. Bounces off the front of the rim, no good. But Hines is there for the offensive rebound. And now an intended pass for Custard goes out of bounds. Keeley, I don't think, was on the same page as Hadrick. That makes 6 turnovers here in the first half for the Phillies. Broncos with that 7-point lead and the ball. They've led by as many as 8. And have led all the way. Over on the right sideline, Wallace gets it up top into the hands of Love. Love finds Gregonis. Gregonis, a pass to the right side to Wallace, long range. Wallace in between the circles to Baker. Broncos trying to break down the Harrison County defense, but our girls are doing a nice job. Baker on the far side of the midcourt circle now makes a move to the top of the key, to the elbow, lobs it on the near side to Gregonis. Gregonis has her pocket picked by Van Hook. Caroline, coast to coast, lays it up and in there. 4 points for Van Hook on the steal and layup. Gets her team back into within 5 at 16-11. 3:08 left to go in the first half. Inside the center circle, Baker calls out the play. She drifts to the near sideline in front of the Harrison County bench. Now makes a move back between the circles. Goes to the right side. Now backs up again. Now goes. Hines all over her. Baker can't get away. Got to be close to a 5-second call. Now she penetrates, gets it in the corner to Gregonis. Gregonis, a runner from 12, is no good. Rebound is going to be hauled in by Van Hook. Caroline with 5 boards here in the first half. Gets the ball to Hadrick. Gabb to the basket. Has her shot go off the side of the backboard. No good. And down with the rebound is Wallace. That was not a wise shot. In the front court, Wallace lobs to the far side to Rhodes. Rhodes moves inside the arc this time for a 12-footer. That's no good. Rebound knocked to the bounds. Last touched by the Phillies, they're going to say. So Douglas with the ball and the lead. 2:21 left to go in the first half. From her own baseline, it will be Wallace to trigger the inbounds pass. Gets it into the hands of Rhodes. Rhodes up and under, misses the shot altogether, and Hudgens gets the rebound. Into the front court comes Hadrick to the basket, layup good, and she's fouled. And Gabb is going to the line for a chance at the old-fashioned 3-point play. Foul's going to be on Gregonis. That'll be Reagan Gregonis' first personal foul. 16-13, Hadrick at the line. On the year, a 64% free throw shooter. At the 2:12 mark, her free throw, though, is good. And the Phillies are back to within 2 at 16-14 with Hadrick scoring 9 of our 14. With the basketball, Gregonis into the front court. 8th grader has her pocket picked by Hadrick. Gabb against Gregonis to the basket, layup good. And Harrison County has tied the score at 16-16. Good job, Gabb, on the steal and layup on the other side of the floor. 16-16, as we said. Under 2 to go in the first half. With the basketball on the far sideline, Baker. Baker gives it into the hands of Wallace in between the circles. Wallace on a weave to Rhodes at the top of the key. Rhodes inside the arc, goes to the block. Her shot off the glass is good. 13 points for Nia Rhodes. Puts her team back out on top by a score of, 18-16. 1:16 on the clock. With the basketball left side, Van Hook lobs it on the far corner to Haddock. That was a dangerous pass. She'll get back to Custard. Now to the left side to Van Hook once again. Caroline to the foul line to Hines. Turnaround jumper, short. Rebound pulled down by Rhodes and will head the other direction. Racing the ball into the front court is Rhodes. Pass to the left side, knocked away by Van Hook off of the hand of the intended receiver, Wallace. So give the ball back to Harrison County. Back in the game, Price returns for the Broncos, also making her first appearance. McKaylee Bennett. McKaylee Bennett, a 5'8" 8th grader, averaging 1.5 points a game. Custard, her team down by 2, enters the front court with 45 seconds left to go in the half. In the corner to Van Hook, back on the wing to Custard. Custard in the paint to Van Hook, turnaround 10-footer, off the mark to the left. Rebound's going to be pulled down this time by Love. Loose ball is going to be retrieved by the Broncos. Under 30 to go now. With the basketball, Love lobs it to the wing to Wallace. In between the circles to Bennett. Bennett just to the right side. Now brings it back to the left side and inside the arc. To the top of the key to Rhodes, long range. Rhodes fires the ball to the far sideline to Wallace. As the Broncos now will wait for the last shot of the half. Leading 18-16, 7 seconds left. Near the timeline, Wallace looks at the clock. There's 3 seconds, 2 seconds. NBA 3 try is off the front of the rim, no good. And that is the way that the first half will end. With your score, Frederick Douglass 18, Harrison County 16. We invite you to stay tuned now for our halftime show, brought to you by Joe Cochran out at State Farm. We'll go over all the scoring and stats from this first half of what has turned into what we think is going to be a barn burner all the way to the end. But once again, from here on the hilltop, your halftime score, Frederick Douglass 18, Harrison County 16. You're listening to Philly Basketball on WC1. Kate Baker, Allison Wallace, Bradley Price, Kennedy Brooks, McKaylee Bennett, Reagan Gregonis, and Brescia Love. Meanwhile, the Phillies are being paced by Gab Hedricks, 11 points, all 11 coming in the second quarter. Caroline Van Hook scored 4, and Kara Hines contributed a point to the effort. Also playing but not scoring, Keely Custard and Bayley Hudgens. That's the way the individual numbers stack up. We'll take another break and then come back and talk about the team stats following this timeout. But once again, from the hilltop, your halftime score, Frederick Douglass 18, Harrison County 16. You're listening to Philly Basketball on WCY Sports. All righty, back here at the Hilltop, let's take a look at the team stats as they are here in the first half. As we mentioned, Harrison County had a tough time going just 6 for 26. That's 23.1%. They fired up 12 trays and made just 2. Meanwhile, Frederick Douglass isn't shooting a whole lot better. They're 7 of 19. That's 36.8%. They only attempted 4 trays, but they did make 3 of them. Neither team went to the line all that often in the first half. Harrison County was 2 out of 3 for 66.7%, while Frederick Douglass struggled from the line, hitting just 1 out of 4. That's 25%. Turnovers, dead even. Each team with 6 miscues in this first half of play. And the rebounding battle, which you would think would go heavily onto Frederick Douglass' side because of their size advantage, but no. It's all tied at 14-14. Frederick Douglass was held to 0 offensive rebounds. Good for our girls. 14 defensive rebounds, obviously. They're led in rebounding in the first half by Allison Wallace's 5. She came in averaging about 8.5. Meanwhile, Harrison County picked up 6 offensive rebounds, 4 of them by Caroline Van Hook, and 8 defensive rebounds. And Caroline led us in rebounding with 5 boards here in the first half, as she's led our team in rebounding the last 3 games in a row. So kudos to Caroline. So there are your stats here in the first half. Harrison County returning from the locker room to take some warm-ups, and now the Lady Broncos doing the same. So we'll take a break right now and come back with the third quarter handoff after this timeout. Once again, your halftime score, Frederick Douglass 18, Harrison County 16. You're listening to Philly Basketball on WC. Harrison 6 and 7, Frederick Douglass 9 and 5. As we mentioned in the pregame show, Douglass came in about a 3-point favorite, so right now the odds are spot on. Harrison County will have the ball to begin the second half. Original starting 5 on the floor, as Harrison made no substitutes in that first half. Frederick with the basketball across the timeline, drifts to the left side, lobs it into the corner to Van Hook, back on the wing to Frederick for a 3. Got it! And Harrison County has taken their first lead of the game at 19-18. Frederick now with 14 points on the night. In the front court with the basketball come the Broncos. Pass inside the arc to Darington. Fires up a terrible shot, but Hudgens will be unable to grab it as it goes off of her hands out of bounds. So Harrison County will maintain possession. From her own baseline, Baker will trigger the inbounds pass. Baker looking, lobs it onto the wing to Wallace. Her long three is too long, no good. Darington rebound, put back good. So Sarah Darington with the offensive glass work puts her team back out on top, 20-19. In the front court with the basketball come the Phillies. 7 minutes left to go in the third quarter. Hudgens with it inside the center circle. Now reverses back to the left side in front of her own bench where she'll hand the ball to Van Hook in between the circles now to Frederick. Gabb makes a move inside the arc at the left elbow extended. Lobs it down low to Hudgens, who has to save it from going out of bounds. Loose ball picked up by Darington. Darington to the basket. Her layup is good. So a couple of baskets in their first two possessions gives the Lady Broncos a 22-19 lead. In the front court come the Phillies, trailing now by 3. Hudgens in between the circles, directing traffic. Drifts to the left side, now backs up a little bit. Now penetrates and gives the ball to Frederick in front of her own bench. Gabb will bring the ball back between the circles, fires an open three. Yes! Gabb Frederick with her second tray of the second half ties the game at 22-22. In the front court with the basketball come the Broncos a couple of minutes into this third quarter. Pass to the right side, long range to Wallace. Wallace in between the circles finds Baker to the left elbow to Darington. Back to the near side to Wallace for a three. Good. First points of the game for Allison Wallace. Puts her team back out on top by 3, 25-22. So we sneak under the 6-minute mark of the third quarter. With the basketball now, Hudgens inside the center circle. And a attempted pass to Custard goes wide of her and into the stable. So that's a couple of turnovers already here in the second half for the Phillies. Treat yourself to some snapping. Salads, chicken wings, sandwiches, and of course, Beast Pizza. Call 235-7627 right now. That's 235-SNAP. Thank you, Ryan. In between the circles, Darington to the right side. She'll get it long range to Wallace. Wallace in front of her own bench. Gets it up top to Rhodes, who wasn't expecting it, but is able to retrieve it. Now moves inside the arc. Goes into the paint. Gets it down low to Darington. Knocked away by Hines out of bounds. Last touched by Harrison. So the Broncos will inbounds it from in front of their own bench near the corner. Inbounding it will be Rhodes. Nia Rhodes gets it to Wallace on the wing. Wallace back up top to Baker in between the circles. Harrison's played a really nice defense here tonight. Again, 5:14 left to go in the third. Broncos up by 3 with the basketball. Here's a pitch to the top of the key to Darington, who throws it away. Steal by Frederick. Gabb, coast to coast, lays it up and good. And gets her team back to within 1 at 25-24. Gabb, one of the leading stealers in the 10th region this year. It has been since she started playing pretty much. Always been a great defender. Here's a lob shot by Baker way off the mark, and Van Hook is there for the rebound for Caroline. That's 6 boards now. Van Hook in between the circles in the front court. Moves to the top of the key. Goes into the paint. Bounce pass on the baseline to Hines, who puts it up and in. What a great pass by Van Hook on the backdoor cut to Hines. And Harrison County has gone back out on top, 26-25. Boy, that was a pretty pass. Into the front court with the basketball come the Broncos. Yeah. Over on the far sideline, Baker lobs it in the paint to Darington to the basket. Her layup is missed. Rebound being knocked around, and Van Hook is there to grab the garbage again. Phillies into the front court. That's Frederick. Lobs it to Hudgens. Now up top to Van Hook. Van Hook goes to the block. Her short shot is no good. And coming down with the rebound this time will be Wallace. Her team down by 1. Wallace, a floater from the elbow is no good. Darington rebound, put back no. Ensuing rebound goes out of bounds and is going to be last touched by the Broncos. So Harrison County will get the ball back as Douglas having all kinds of trouble finding the basket here in the second half, much like Harrison County did in the first half. Returning to the floor for Douglas will be Bradley Price. Inbounds pass comes to Hudgens, who turns around and sees a couple of Broncos there. Gets the ball to Hines, who will bring it into the front court. Now Hines is going to be fouled on an attempted steal by Kennedy Brooks, who's back in the game. Nope, can't be Brooks. Must be Price. That'll be Price's first personal foul. From near the midcourt stripe, Hines inbounds the ball to Hudgens. Bayley being guarded closely by Baker. Brings it in the front court. Now lobs to the hash mark to Van Hook down on the baseline to Frederick. Frederick guarded by Price, gets the ball in the paint to Hudgens. Hudgens down low on the block to Hines. Ball fake goes up good. Kara Hines with her 5th point. And Harrison County now has their biggest lead of the night at 28-25. 3:15 left in this third quarter play. With the basketball in between the circles, Rhodes crosses over her dribble. Now moves to the foul line. Now backs it back out again. Good defense by Van Hook. Gets it on the baseline to Darington. Darington floats up a 10-footer that rims out. Gets her own rebound. Puts it back up. No good. Rebound ensuing comes into the hands of Frederick. Gab into the front court with the basketball. Will wait on the rest of her team. Now pass to Custard in the corner. Van Hook open for 3. Yes! Caroline Van Hook buries the tray, and Harrison County's lead extends to 6 at 31-25. 2:35 left to go in this third quarter. Harrison County has reeled off 9 points in a row. Price with the basketball. Gives it to Rhodes. Rhodes spins from the elbow, forces up a shot that's off the flange, no good. But Darington is there for another rebound. She has 4 here in the third quarter. Pass to the far sideline to Baker. Baker backs up near the timeline to reset the offense as Douglas tries to settle things down. With 2 minutes left to go in the quarter, a pass inside to Darington, and they're going to call a foul on Frederick going for the steal. That'll be Gab's second personal foul. Harrison County Farm Bureau knows that if you want something protected, you keep it covered. Call 234-4514, and Dustin or Amy will get you covered. Coming into the game for the first time for Harrison, Brooke Kinney. Kinney, a 5'6" junior, averaging 0.8 points a game, giving Hudgens a little bit of a blow. Here's an in pass to Darington, and Darington lays it up and in. That was just a little bit too easy on the layup. Gets the Broncos back to within 4 at 31-27 as we go under 2 to go in the third quarter. Into the front court comes Van Hook. Caroline in between the circles to Custer, to the right side to Frederick. She'll fire a 3. A little too short this time as Darington rips down the rebound. She'll bring it into the front court, goes to the basket. Her shot's no good, but a foul is going to be assessed to Frederick. And that'll be Gab's third.
Number 21, Ayana Darington to the line.
Now sent Arrington to the line, where she is just 1 for 4. 1:38 on the clock here in the third. Harrison leading 31-27. First free throw by the sophomore is on the way this time, and this one is perfect. Nothing but net. She has 13 points, as does Rhodes. 31-28 now your score. Second free throw by Darington is also good. Coming in the game now will be McKaylee Bennett. McKaylee Bennett saw some action in the first half. 31-29. Harrison lead, and with the ball facing full court pressure for the first time tonight. Inbounds pass comes to Custard. Back to Hines. Hines back to Custard. Keeley brings it to the front court on the near sideline. Lobs it to Van Hook. Van Hook to Frederick. Back up top to Custard once again. Keeley steps inside the center circle. Pass to the left side to Frederick, who will reset the offense. Harrison up by 2. Frederick goes into the paint. Lobs up a 10-footer that's no good. Rebound knocked out of bounds. Last touch by Harrison County. So the Douglas Broncos get the ball back with a chance to retie this game. We've had a couple of ties and 3 lead changes, although neither team is led by more than 7. With the basketball into the front court comes Baker. Baker on the near sideline goes to the foul line, kicks it to Wallace for 3. Good. Another tray for Allison Wallace, her second of the second half, puts the Broncos back out on top, 32-31. Under a minute to go in the third. Into the front court with the basketball comes Frederick. Lobs to Hines. Hines gets it on the baseline to Kenny. 10-footer off the front of the rim. No good. Rebound pulled down this time by Bennett. And as she comes up the floor, she's going to be fouled from behind by Hines. That'll be Kara's second personal foul. 38 seconds on the clock. Broncos have now scored 7 in a row to recapture the lead at 32-31. Crossing the timeline is Baker. Baker guarded by Frederick. Nears the near sideline at the hash, just to the left of her own bench. Now Baker has her dribble knocked out of bounds by Frederick. Frederick like a snake trying to poke at that ball at just the right time to get the steal. Inbounding the ball will be Baker. She'll get it inside the center circle to Wallace. Wallace back to Baker on the right side, long range. Baker Crosses over her dribble, gets it to the left elbow, kicks it out top to Wallace. Wallace in the paint, gets it to Brooks. She'll fire a three, no good, short. Rebound being fought for and goes out of bounds. Last touch by Douglas. So Harrison County will get the ball back with 5 seconds left to go. Hudgens checks back into the game quickly. Harrison will have to go the length of the floor facing full court pressure. Hines will inbounds the ball. Kara gets the ball to Hudgens. Hudgens in the front court to Hadrick. Hadrick left side, goes baseline, puts up a runner at the buzzer that's no good. So at the end of 3 quarters of play, your score, Frederick Douglass 32, Harrison County 31. You're listening to Philly Basketball on WCYN. Alrighty, the 4th quarter upcoming in this contest between Harrison County and Douglas. Momentum switched sides a little bit there in that 3rd quarter. Harrison County going on a 9-0 run to take a 6-point lead. But then the Douglas Broncos responded with a 7-0 run of their own as Harrison County went the last 3 minutes without a score. But right now trailed by just 1. However, the Broncos with the lead will have the ball. Here's a pass intended for Price. It's smacked off of her hands on a nice play by Hedrick. So Harrison County will get the ball back. Douglas committed just 1 turnover in that 3rd quarter, but already won in the first 6 seconds of the 4th. Inbounds pass comes to Hudgens. Hudgens being tracked by Price will bring the ball into the front court on the far side of the midcourt circle. Bayley to the left elbow to Hines. Hines looking for help as she's double teamed. Now forces up an 8-footer. Good! 7 points for Kara Hines. And Harrison County goes back out on top, 33-32. 10-footer in the lane for Kara. In the front court out top with the basketball is Baker. Fans it to the left side to Wallace for an NBA 3. Rims out, a little too long. Rebound's going to be picked up this time by Kara Hines. Hines brings the ball into the front court. Gets it to Custard. Custard between the circles to Hudgens. Hudgens at the left elbow goes to the blocker. Shot blocked out of there by Wallace, though. Harrison County will maintain possession, however. First a substitution as Ayanna Sarah Darington checks back in. Harrison County Farm Bureau knows that if you want something protected, you keep it covered. Call 234-4514, and Dustin or Amy will get you covered from her own baseline. Van Hook gets the ball to Hadrick. A little 10-footer good. Hadrick with 21 points on the night as Harrison County's lead extends to 35-32. Now we're going to have a foul on Harrison County as Hines was going for the steal. That'll be 3 on Kara. So a little foul trouble creeping up on the Phillies. A couple of players with 3. From her own baseline, Baker to trigger the inbounds pass. Baker looking, gets it to Darington, who lays it up, and it went halfway down, then came back out again, but Darington got the rebound. In the hands of Baker in between the circles. Baker looks over to the right. Now dribbles that way, guarded by Hudgens. Now goes in front of her own bench, does Baker. Crosses over her dribble to go back between the circles. Now in the paint, kicks it in the corner to Wallace for a 3-pointer. No good, too long. Long rebound is going to be chased down by Darington. She goes back to the basket, tries a pass to Bennett. Her shot's no good. Darington got the rebound again. Somebody grab it for our side. And we didn't do it as Darington picks up another offensive board. Price with the basketball on the right side now. 6 minutes left to go in the game. Harrison County leads by 3. Here's a dump down to Darington. Traveled, no call. Fans the ball to Wallace for 3. Bounces out, no good. And on the rebound, we're going to have a foul called on Harrison County. Oh, a double foul on Hines and Darington. That's bad for our side because that's Hines' fourth. For Darington, just her second. 6:05 left on the clock. I have to keep Hines on the floor with the jump ball. Alternating possession, gives the ball to the Phillies. Hines looking for someone to pass to, gets the ball to Hudgens. Bayley in the backcourt brings up the ball on the near sideline and just now crossing the timeline. Moves inside the arc on the left side to the block, and as she puts up a shot, she's going to be fouled by Darington. That'll be Sarah Darrington's third personal foul, and will send Hudgens to the line for two. Bayley on the year is a 65% free throw shooter. However, she's made 10 of her last 11. Still looking for her first point. 5:54 on the clock. The first free throw by the freshman is on the way and rims out. She'll have another, however, to try to make it a two-possession game. Toes the line as she spins the ball in her hand, and her second free throw is a knuckler, but it gets its way down the hoop. So Harrison County now leads by 4, 36-32 after the free throw by Bayley Hudgens. In the front court with the basketball is Darington. Fans it up top to Wallace, to the left side to Bennett. Bennett gets it back between the circles to Wallace, to the right side, long range to Baker. Lob down low to Darington, knocked away. Loose ball picked up by Darington. Baseline pass intended for Bennett is knocked out of bounds by Frederick. Well, I tell you what, Harrison County's got a whole bunch of deflections tonight. From her own baseline to trigger the inbounds pass will be Baker. Baker gets the ball from the official now and finds Rhodes, who's been quiet since the first half. Rhodes travels into the paint. Her shot's put up no good, but she's going to be fouled. Go to the line for two. That foul is going to be on Custard. Now it'll be Keeley's first. First trip to the line tonight for Rhodes, who on the year is a 77% free throw shooter. Looking for her first point of the second half, and she gets it. And she gets her team back to within one possession at 36-33. Second free throw coming up for the Woodford County transfer with 5:26 left is also good. Gives her 15. And the visitors from Lexington have snuck back to within two at 36-34. Into the front court quickly come the Phillies. Hudgens with it in between the two circles. Drifts to the near sideline, gets it in the hands of Custard on the wing. Into the paint to Frederick. 15-footer is blocked out of there by Rhodes, and Rhodes gets the rebound as well. And here come the Broncos, down by 2. In between the circles, Rhodes gets it in the corner to Bennett, who fires a three. Good! The first points of the game for McKaylee Bennett puts her team back out on top by a score of 37-36. Now a whistle and a timeout called by Harrison County. Let's see if it's a 30 or a full. It's a full, so we'll take it as well. 4:50 left to go, your score. Frederick Douglass 37, Harrison County 36. You're listening to Philly Basketball on WCYN Sports. All righty, back here at the Hilltop, the Broncos of Frederick Douglass have extended their lead to 45-40 following the old-fashioned three-point play by Nia Rhodes, who now has 18 in the game, matching Darington's 18. They have 36 of Frederick Douglass's 45 points. Facing full court pressure out of the timeout. Hines gets the ball inbounds to Hadrick, back to Hines, now to Hudgens, who will bring the ball to the front court. Hudgens to Custard, left side, backed up for three, no good off the front of the rim. Rebound, though, picked up by Van Hooker. Putback is no good. And now Bennett will get control of the basketball. And we're going to have a jump ball called. Possession arrow faces Harrison County's way. 1:24 on the clock. Phillies need a bucket here. And now a timeout called by Harrison County. It's going to be a 30-second timeout, so we'll keep it right here. 1 minute and 24 seconds on the clock here in the fourth quarter. And Frederick Douglass leads 45-40. If you've been thinking about a farm and machinery loan, call Michael Furnish with Farm Credit Mid-America at 859-254-2741 and learn how he can help you. Of course, the Phillies' next game will be at the Class 2A State Tournament on Friday night at 7:30, when in the quarterfinal round they'll take on the Rowan County Lady Vikings, the champions of Section 8. Harrison County, the champions of Section 5. Should be a great trip, a great experience for the girls. Tournament atmosphere, staying in a nice hotel down there for a couple of nights. All things good. Van Hook will inbounds the ball, gets it into the corner this time to Hadrick. Fans it back to Hudgens in between the circles. Bayley drifts to the near side, now reverses again inside the arc, goes to the block, trapped, gets the ball to the elbow to Hines. Hines back to Hudgens, 15-footer, air ball. Rebound on the offside, picked up by Darington, who's picking up all the garbage tonight. She'll get it to Bennett in the front court, misses the shot, but Darington is there for an offensive rebound and put back, as now she has 20 points and 20 rebounds in the game. That's ridiculous. Into the front court with the basketball. Come the Phillies, long three, Hadrick, short. Rebound pulled down by Darington. And up the floor and into the front court come the Lady Broncos. And now Rhodes is going to be fouled by Van Hook, who was going for the steal. That'll be Caroline's second. Wow. Tell you what, Darington does it all.
Number 34, Rhodes to the line for Frederick Douglass.
Going to the line will be Rhodes with 41 seconds left and her team leading by 7. Rhodes 3 for 3 from the line. Free throw up and off the front of the rim, no good. And coming down with the offensive rebound is going to be Wallace. She goes back up and puts it in the basket as a 49-40 lead now for the Broncos. Just 26 seconds left. Harrison misses a shot. Rebound pulled down by Wallace once again. And as we come up the floor, a foul is going to be called on Harrison County. It's going to be on Custard. That'll be her second. Right now, the Broncos on a 7-0, no, more than that, a 9-0 run. Wallace at the line for the first time tonight. She is regularly an 85% free throw shooter. First free throw is good as she picks up her 9th point and puts her team up by an even 10 at 50-40 with 21 seconds on the clock. The final score is not going to really indicate how close this game was. So I think we just tired down. Second free throw also good by Wallace. Banging against these big bodies of Frederick Douglass takes a toll. Hadrick gets the ball on the wing to Hudgens. Hudgens inside the arc, has the ball taken away from her. This time by Bennett. Ball knocked away from behind, but Rhodes picks up the loose ball, goes the other way, and lays it up and in for her 20th point with just 4 seconds left. Custer gets the ball, and that will be the ball game. The Lady Broncos of Frederick Douglass end up winning by a final score of 53-40, and now improve on the season to 10-5. Meanwhile, Harrison County will drop to 6-8. The Phillies did not score over the last 3 minutes of the game, during which time the Broncos picked up, I can find it here, 13 points. So a 13-0 run to end the game for the Broncos gives them the victory on what, for the most part, up until the last 3 or 4 minutes, was a very close game. We invite you to stay tuned now for our post-game show brought to you by MCTC out of Lincoln Valley campus. And overall, the scoring and stats from tonight's game, as well as have a chat with Coach Marshall. We'll also name our Judy Construction Company player of the game. All that coming up after this timeout. But once again, from here on the Hilltop, your final score, Frederick Douglass 53, Harrison County 40. You've been listening to Philly Basketball on WC1. Alrighty, back here at the Hilltop, Harrison County falls by a final score of 53-40, a game that was back and forth as the two teams exchanged the lead 6 times in the contest. Harrison County had as much as a 7-point lead. Broncos had as much as a 7-point lead till about midway through the fourth quarter when we just simply hit the wall and could not get the ball to go down, many of the shots coming up short. Like I said, Frederick Douglass has a lot of big, tough girls. Yana Sarah Darington, the biggest of them all, and I think they just wore us down eventually. We had run the game plan great. Gab Hadrick contributing 25 points, including 4 threes, and everything was going good until a little 8th grader, McKaylee Bennett, who had only attempted 1 3-pointer all year long, buries a 3 from the corner, puts her team in the lead, and starts what would end up being a 13-0 run to end the ball game to give Frederick Douglass this 13-point win. Take a look at the scoring first for Douglass. As we said, they now improved to 10-5 on the year. They placed 3 players in double figures, led by a couple with 20. Ayana Sarah Darington, 20 points and 22 rebounds. Second time this year she's had 20-plus rebounds, and she also had 22 against Lincoln County earlier this year. Of those 22 rebounds, 13 were offensive rebounds. Just an amazing player. 20 points as well for Nia Rhodes, who kept her team in the ball game with 13 first-half points and then rounded things off with 7 points in the fourth quarter. Also in double figures, Allison Wallace, who had a very quiet 10, all 10 coming in the second half. The only other player that scored for Frederick Douglass was McKaylee Bennett, and the only points she scored were those pivotal 3 points on that tray late in the game. Also playing but not scoring, Kate Baker, Bradley Price, Kennedy Brooks, Reagan Gregonis, and Brescia Love. For Harrison County, Gab Hadrick led the way with 25, including 4 3-pointers, 7 points each for both Kara Hines and Caroline Van Hook, and a single point for Bayley Hudgens. Also playing but not scoring, Keely Custard and Brooke Kinney, who was in there for about a minute. That's the way the individual numbers look. We'll take a break, come back, and take a look at the team stats following this timeout. But once again, from the Hilltop, your final score, Frederick Douglass 53, Harrison County 40. You've been listening to Philly Basketball on WCYN.
Dealing with the real world wasn't easy, even before the whole global pandemic thing. Trying to pay the bills, worrying about family, or just trying to figure out what you want to be. The good news? Maysville Community and Technical College is open and ready, with on-campus and online programs that can lead to essential careers in IT, healthcare, and more, all at less than half the cost of a 4-year university. So never put your dreams on hold, and never underestimate you.
All right, let's take a look at the team stats. No, I take that back. Coach Marshall's coming over, so we'll talk to her first, get her thoughts on tonight's game and also on the game upcoming on Friday night at the Class 2A state. But first things first, Coach Marshall, I think we just got wore down.
Yeah, we did. Again, we keep talking about finding a little bit more depth and stuff. And I really thought yesterday we were dragging a little bit, a few of us in practice. And you're right, I thought we did. But, Lord, can you not? I hope everybody sees this group. I hope everybody comes out at least once and watches this group. There's something so special about this group and the defense. Lord,
yeah.
For us to go against Frederick Douglass and their size and everything like that and hold them to, 18 points and a half. And not only that, keep them in front of us.
Right.
Not just get beat up the middle and all that kind of stuff. They're working so hard. And, the other parts will come. But this is a special group. I don't think I know our regional runner-up team with Maddie Kay and them, that was a good group on defense that we were very hard to play against. But we also had some size.
Yeah.
You had some size back there to help you. We don't
right.
have that. And this group is just grinding and working and all that kind of stuff. And, we just got to stay positive and keep working. And, I think that they were dragging a little bit because, we played such a great defensive effort against Mason County. And so we'll get there. We'll be all right. We just, obviously I didn't think we handled it handled the tempo well in the second half, and that's what I talked to him about. Like, you're working hard on defense and you're grinding, but then we're coming down and not making good decisions on the offensive end. But give them credit. Frederick Douglass changes your defenses up a lot, so it's very hard to read. And so, again, that challenged our guards. And so, a couple shots go down differently, and that helps. But I'm like you. I thought we looked a little fatigued. Our shots looked flat, and our legs looked a little bit dead. And so, but, we got to come back tomorrow is a big day for us. Looking at our schedule for this week, tomorrow's really on our home court. We've got to get a really good practice in, so they don't have time to be tired. And, it's part of it. They got to figure out a way to take care of their bodies and replenish and get back out here and stay focused. But, I think there's so many things that you can look at in this group that's just really improving, and I'm proud of.
Darington, the big girl inside for Douglass, I mean, I'm going to give this girl credit. She realized what we were doing in the first half, keeping her away from the ball. She didn't push anything. It's almost like she kind of knew that eventually I'm going to get my stuff. And she ends up with 22 rebounds.
Yeah, well, they did a great job of putting her, what they were doing was putting her right on that weak side, and she was right in weak side rebounding position. So no matter what, they were setting it up. So Kara, she could use her athleticism to out-jump Kara.
Right.
And, our girls are working hard, but it's hard when she can jump that much higher than you. Like, you're putting a body on her, but you're not going to get over the back call when she just jumps up above you. I thought she camped out in there a lot, and that wasn't really called. But, we do what we do with the players we have, and, they do a lot for what we have and make up for a lot. But you also got to know who you're playing against. That's what we talked about back there. There's a difference in playing Frederick Douglass and then going and playing Nicholas County.
Right.
All that kind of stuff comes into play, and you got to recognize that you don't play the same game every single game. And so you got to recognize the athletes you're playing against and understand how to go out there and combat that with what we have.
Special game coming up on Friday night down at the Owensboro Sports Center. Take on Rowan County in the quarterfinals of the Class 2A state. And, Coach, it's, I already know ahead of time it's going to be a great weekend for our girls, win or lose.
Right. We're so excited. I think it's been a long time since I've been this excited. On Saturday, I was kind of like on cloud nine. And, I don't think people realize what that win meant for us and how big of a win it was. Yeah. With the way Mason County's program is and where everybody has them right now in the region. And I don't think anybody expected us to beat them. And our girls just came in and just the focus level. And that's what I told them. I was like, you showed me that you want to be champions. You showed me you want to compete with that focus that you came in and did. And that's hard to get teenagers to do.
Right.
And they did. And so, we just keep building on that. And, I mean, if they give me that, for the next 6 weeks, Lord, watch out for this team come region. I'm serious. Like, we get a couple more girls to come along with us and give us some minutes. We're going to be a hard time to get out. So, but
the tournament atmosphere that you're going to have will only serve to help you come district and regional tournament time.
Yeah, and my teams have always been extremely close in the past, and then COVID hit, and it just really changed kind of our team. And we've always had such a family atmosphere because we've always done so much fun stuff together, and we haven't got to do that in the last couple of years. And so I'm excited to get. I know there's probably people nervous about us going and being in hotel rooms and all that kind of stuff together, but I'm excited for our team to get to grow and bond and go down there and play against. There's some really good athletes in this tournament and see that. And I think we have a good chance of going. We've already watched Rowan a couple films, and I'm not going down there planning on losing. And so I think our girls can come in and stay focused and give ourselves a chance to win that.
All right, Coach. We'll wish you the best of luck and see you on Friday night.
I'm excited. Thank you.
All right. Coach Kim Marshall of Harrison County after the Phillies' 53-40 loss in the hands of Frederick Douglass. We'll take our last break, come back and talk about the team stats as well as name our Judy Construction Company player of the game. All that coming up after this timeout. You've been listening to Philly Basketball on W.
Dealing with the real world wasn't easy, even before the whole global pandemic thing. Trying to pay the bills, worrying about family, or just trying to figure out what you want to be. The good news? Maysville Community and Technical College is open and ready, with on-campus and online programs that can lead to essential careers in IT, healthcare, and more, all at less than half the cost of a four-year university. So never put your dreams on hold and never underestimate you.
All righty, back here at the Hilltop. Harrison County on the night shot just 30.2% on 16 out of 53, made 5 of 20 from beyond the arc, but a lot of those misses came late in the game when we lost our legs and just couldn't get the ball to fall. Now, like Coach Marshall was saying, our defense did great. We held Frederick Douglass, a very good basketball team, to just 34.5% on 19 out of 55. They attempted 13 trays and made 6. Meanwhile, from the charity stripe, we only went to the line 5 times and made 3 for 60%, while Frederick Douglass went to the line 14 times and made 9. That's 64.3%. But rebounding was the big difference in this ballgame. If you'll recall, in the first half, both teams had 14 rebounds. That completely changed in the second half as Ayana Sarah Darington took over for Douglass. In the second half, Frederick Douglass out-rebounds Harrison County 26-9. And many of those 26 were offensive rebounds as they ended up with 13 offensive rebounds in the second half alone. Frederick Douglass is going to beat a lot of teams this year. Along with those 13 offensive, 27 defensive rebounds for the Broncos. As we mentioned before, they were paced by Darington, who had 22 boards, giving her 7th double-double of the season. Also for Harrison County, 8 offensive and 15 defensive rebounds. Caroline Van Hook once again led us in that particular category with 8. 5 of Caroline's rebounds were offensive rebounds as well. But just a matter of we lost our legs at the end, but going to have to figure out a way to solve that. And it's like Coach Marshall said, it's by the way we play our different opponents. As we mentioned, Harrison County will be in action on Friday night at 7:30 at the Owensboro Sports Center in the quarterfinal round of the Class 2A state tournament. Hopefully our girls can get past Rowan County, but we shall see. Now, our next broadcast will be tomorrow night when the Harrison County Thoroughbreds return to the Hilltop to take on the Eagles of Scott High School. We'll be on the air with the pregame show at around 10-15 minutes till tip-off. Hopefully, though, you'll come up and support your Thoroughbreds against Scott, who we always seem to have had trouble with. But this year, I feel confident that we're going to change the game. I want to thank my engineer back at the station, Ed Lewis, who always does a great job. And as always, I want to thank all of our sponsors, because without their help, we would not be able to get Harrison County High School basketball on the air. So from the Hilltop, your final score for the final time, Frederick Douglass 53, Harrison County 40. Good evening, everyone.